Now we're just going to head out on Route 5 in Churchtown, which is going to take us up towards Rathgar, similar to Route 2, which we would have done earlier. So again, just leaving the parking space nice and slowly and approaching the ramp back out of the test centre. Again, just stay in first gear coming up here. We're going to be turning left. Take it really slow. It's quite blind coming out of here. There's cars parked both sides. You really need to stop, lean forward, look out really slowly, make sure it's safe. And then we're proceeding onto Landscape Road, heading down towards the Braemar Road junction. Just keeping an eye on the parked cars on the left here, watching for anyone possibly opening a door or stepping out. So down to the end of the road here, we're going to be turning left. A lot of people make the mistake here of stopping before the line here, which you have to do, but then staying behind the line, which means you can't actually see up the road. So stop and then edge forward towards the cycle lane, which gives you a view to your right past the bus shelter. Put your handbrake on there as well if you feel you need to. We're going to be going right at this junction here. It could take you down to the next junction as well and turn right. So we have a green light. We're moving into the middle of the road. Remember, if the light changes to red here, we're going to proceed. We can't block the junction. Okay, so approaching cars have stopped. The green arrow has come on, and we're heading on into Braemar Park. Just staying in third gear here, coming around the bend. Make sure you keep to the left of the solid white line. At the end of this road then we'll be turning left onto Orwell Road. This is a yield junction, but like a lot of yield junctions, you're really going to have to stop here because it's quite blind to the right and traffic can be approaching at speed. So down to the end, back into first gear, just stopping, looking both ways, make sure it's safe, and then moving out onto Orwell Road. We see there's parked cars up ahead, so we're just going to keep out from them. Don't drive in behind parked cars and then indicate out. You're going to get marked for reaction to hazard if you do that. So once it's clear, move out early. Just keeping an eye again on cars coming out. This car here is pulling in on the left. Just going to indicate very briefly around them. And then at the next junction, we're going to be turning right down to Orwell Park. So there isn't a signal. Road markings are quite poor here, so just make sure you keep out to the right. Again, we have a solid green light moving into the centre of the road. The light has changed to amber. This car here has come through, but then we're still going to turn. You're not braking a red light there because you've gone past the stop line. So if I'd stayed in the middle of the junction there, would have got an automatic fail on the driving test. But you do have to make sure that all oncoming traffic is stopped. You can see the black Renault there had come through on a light quite late. Just watch the ramps on this road, they're quite high, and obviously you have the hatch markings in the centre of the road here, but you have to drive into them because there's parked cars. An obstruction up ahead, we're just going to make it nice and slow. It's just the traffic is backed up down towards the junction with Dartry Road. Again, just staying in first gear for the time being. If the traffic moves on, we'll move into second. We're just going to go into second now, but we're going to have to come back into first. At the end of this road, we're going to be turning left onto Dartry Road. Quite a tight turn, just be very careful. You don't want to clip the curb as you go around, but you also don't want to swing out wide either. Just if you're going to be stopped for a while, just apply the handbrake, back into neutral. There's no point sitting in gear. Once you see the traffic moving off, then ready to go. Always make sure when you're stopping as well that you can see the back wheels of the car in front on the road, so leave enough gap that if something happens to them, you can get around them. At this point here, we're just going to signal left. We'll just stop before the ramp here. There's no point in going up on it. Again, back into neutral, handbrake on. Traffic moving again, so back into first gear, release the handbrake, just checking mirrors moving off, very important in case cyclists will come up behind, and checking the left mirror again before turning. And just nice and slow around, don't give it any gas then until you're back around and straightened. Now the next junction up ahead, we're going to be turning right onto Temple Road. This is where they're going to bring you in for the reverse. It's the same corner that was used on Route 2 when you're brought up through Rathgar. Just stopping where I can see the back wheels of the vehicle in front. Again, just checking mirrors moving off. Make sure you don't stop on that pedestrian crossing when you're waiting to turn. This car ahead really should be going up a little bit further into the junction. They're moving forward now. We're going to move as well. Approaching the vehicle is far off. So once you get around here, the tester will ask you to pull in and stop on the left. You just pull in, make sure not to hit the curb, and they'll just give you the direction then that this road here on the left is the road they want you to reverse your vehicle into. Drive past the road, pull in and stop on the left, and they'll give you further directions then. So you're going to move off again. So mirrors, signal, make sure you check your blind spot. Now you don't have to move out into the middle of the road, just stay reasonably close to the curb, and then just indicate left as you're pulling in. So you can just pull up as far as the ramp. You don't need to go over it unless he asks you to. This is quite a sharp turn here, so again we're going to take it nice and slow, going back, looking all around just before the curb goes out of view. In my mirror, I'm just turning the wheel and then just keeping reasonably close, looking around the whole way. Keep looking, predominantly looking behind you. Don't be looking in your mirror, looking behind, looking to your right, and then just nice and slow, and just keep going back until the tester tells you that that's far enough. So they usually take it back a couple of car lengths. Keep looking behind as you do this, in case somebody comes out from one of the buildings behind. Okay, at this point then, just going to stop, apply the handbrake. Tester will ask you to move off again. We're going to be turning right at the end of the road. So again, mirrors, signal, over your right shoulder, blind spot, make sure it's safe, and right at the end of the road, look left and right, take it nice and easy. And then coming up to this junction here, we're going to be turning right back onto Dartry Road. So again, as usual, mirrors and signal, staying reasonably close to the line. So we can see here there's a Jeep just across the road. They've no indicator on, so we don't know what they're doing. They could be going straight on. If they're going straight or left, they have right away. If they're going right, then we can move to their right as well, so we won't be in each other's way. So two other cars now have approached, so going back into first gear. The lights are going to change. The pedestrian lights have come on, so we're just going to wait for them to go off, and then we'll see what happens. So once the light goes green here, we're just going to move forward and just pause and see what these oncoming vehicles are doing. We can see the second car is turning right, so they won't affect us, but we don't know what the other two vehicles are doing. Okay, so light goes green, and we're just going to move forward. So they're going right. They're all three are going right, so we can turn them. They're not going to affect us. Now onto Dartry Road. Just be careful here. A lot of people get marked for position on the straight here. They stay out too close to the broken white line here. Keep in to the left unless he tells you you're turning right, in which case you move over. But we're actually going to be turning left here, back up Highfield Road. handbrake on. I go back into first gear here, just sit in first gear, be ready to go. You're first in line. Once your clutch is fully down to the floor, that's not a problem. Just make sure you don't hold it at the bite point or you're going to burn out your clutch. Okay, we're just watching a cyclist has come up alongside, but he's stopped, keeping an eye on the left mirror. That's why it's really important to check your left mirror before moving off. So heading up Highfield Road, we're going to be taking the second road on the right of Neville Road. So just passing Villiers Road here, which is the first one. These ramps are quite high. Just take it nice and easy going over. So the next right coming up. So again, mirrors and signal. Back into second gear. There's a cyclist approaching. Well, we'll be able to turn before they get to us. Turning around the centre of the road, make sure you don't cut the corner. So there's parked cars up here, so we're just staying out from them. There's no point in going in and back out again. At the end of this road then we're going to be turning right. It's a very blind junction. You also have to be aware that cars could come around here from either the left or the right. Up to the end. There's no road markings here to say stop, but you definitely do need to stop here. You look left and right on a bit of a hill as well, so you need good clutch control. Now we're just coming around to the end of Frankfurt Avenue. On Route 2 we would have come up Frankfurt Avenue. It's on our left here. Just be careful here. You have to yield to traffic from the left. You can see there's a white car that's just come through there. You really need to definitely go back into first gear and just crawl out very slowly. At the end of this road we're going to be turning right. So we're back out onto Upper Rathmines Road. Again, a stop junction. You need to stop here, very blind, so come to a complete stop and then move forward slowly, really slowly. Lean out if need be, look, make sure there's nothing coming either side, it's quite blind. Going to take the next left onto Cowper Road and checking mirrors, make sure you check your left mirror for cyclists. Road surface here is a little bit uneven. We have the split ramps as well. Always try and avoid these if possible, but you can't go onto the wrong side of the road to do it. We're going to be turning left then into Cowper Downs. This is where they could bring you in for the turnabout. So again, mirrors and signal, back into second gear. At the end of the road here, we're going to be turning right. Again, back into first gear, closed junction. Make sure you take really good observation. Never come out of any of those junctions in second gear. They're going to mark you for observation if you do. Just following the road around, keeping out from the parked cars. We're going to take the next left. Sometimes it's quite busy here, it's hard to find a space to park, so we have one here just quite tight, so we're just going to pull in. Be careful not to hit the curb. So we're just going to reverse back just to give ourselves a little bit of room. Okay, so the tester will ask you then to turn the car around on the road to face the opposite way, and you can go over and back more than once if necessary, which means you don't strictly have to do it in 3, but the if necessary are the key words. If he thinks you could have done it in 3 but you didn't because you did it too fast or your steering was too slow, you could get marked. So before moving off then, check your mirrors, indicate right, do a full 360 all the way around, look around, make sure it's safe, full lock on, take the turn off but then before you come to a stop, handbrake on, back into reverse gear, look all around, make sure you're looking behind you as you reverse back, not just in your mirrors, turn and look out the back, both directions, and then feed the wheel back. Again, a little bit of a camber slope on the road here, putting on the handbrake, looking left and right before moving off, and then move away once you're complete. They normally pull you in then for the hand signals just after the turnabout, and then you move off again. Get you down to the end of the road, just again back into first gear. Just staying in second gear coming around here is a little bit tight. You could have cars approaching. If they're overtaking the parked cars, they'll be on our side of the road. Back left here then, we're coming back out onto Cowper Road then in a moment. Car parked on the bend here as there usually is, so we're just taking it nice and easy coming around. Again, nice and slow coming out, looking both directions. Okay, so we're going to have to go over the ramps here. Now you can see the car parking spaces on the left here. You can actually drive in through these. A lot of people think you have to avoid them, but you don't unless there's cars parked in it. So by driving in here, we're then avoiding this ramp here. And then just gently checking your right mirror, moving out very gently from the parked cars. We're going right at this junction onto Palmerston Road. Here, because the truck is parked, we can move out. And then stopping at the stop line, just at the traffic lights. Again, handbrake on. The lights have changed to green, but a pedestrian has started to walk across the road, so we have to let her go. Now look left and right moving out, because even though you have a green light, that doesn't mean you can go. It just means you go if it's safe to go. Again, we're just trying to avoid this ramp here. Don't go out of your way to hit them. If there was no cars parked on the left or van there, we could drive in on the left again, but staying in third gear, just going over these. And at the end of the road, we're turning right. See, it's a stop junction. Right up to the line. Actually come to a complete stop. And then slowly move out. Just make sure it's safe. We're heading around there by Palmerston Park. Just keeping into the left here. There's no footpath on the left. Just you can see there's yellow lines. So we're staying in reasonably close. The road's a little bit uneven there. Left back onto Dartry Road. Again, back into second gear. We have to give way to traffic from the right, but I'm just looking here. There's nobody after the white van, which means we can just proceed. Again, this section of the road is a tendency for a lot of people to drive quite close to the white line here. So again, keep your position to the left. And we're just going straight on, just passing Temple Road where we did the reverse earlier. Approaching the green light, always just ease off the gas, anticipate that it could change. Again, just staying into the left here. This road splits into two lanes. It's quite narrow, but there's a lane on the right for traffic turning right up Orwell Park. Just watching the yellow box here, we don't want to go into it. We have enough room to proceed past it and still leave a good gap between us and the van, so we can stop here, no problem. Lights up ahead have gone green again. Just checking mirrors moving off. You can see there's two lanes here. So heading down Dartry Road here towards the junction at the Dropping Well Pub, where we're turning right, which we would have done earlier on Route 2 as well. Usually a lot of cars parked around here, so you don't need to indicate too early. Around here is fine. So again, mirrors and signal. If you remember, this is the junction. You don't want to go into the yellow box here because it's going to put you too far forward. Just making sure there's nobody coming. It's going to turn then. Just as your front wheels reach the yellow box, just turn. Tester could pull you in here on the left to do the hill start. It's one of the areas to use. Just heading back up Churchtown Road. Churchtown Golf Club is on our right hand side. Just keeping an eye, we've got some parked cars here. We also have a cyclist. We're going to make sure that it's safe to pass. There's nobody coming at the moment. So again, mirrors, signal briefly. Out, make sure you give plenty of space. Again, always check your mirrors before overtaking, just in case somebody had started to overtake you. trying, it's 50 on this road, we're trying to keep the speed around 50. Now, they generally don't mind if you go a little bit above 52, 53, 54, but try and get it back down to 50. It's difficult sometimes to keep it exactly at the exact speed. At the next junction then, we're going to be turning right onto Orwell Road. It's moving over to the right. Stopping before the line. And applying the handbrake, just secure the car. Once the light goes green, again we're moving forward into the junction. Make sure you move forward straight away, and if the light changes to red, then we'll go once it's safe. There's no filter light here either. Just looking to the right before starting to turn. These bends aren't quite as sharp as the signs make out, but just keep an eye. They could bring you in there for the turnabout as well. We would have done there at too. I'm going to head down past the junction here with Braemar Park, and we're going to be turning left in onto Lower Dollar Road. So just passing the parked cars again, mirrors and signal. Back down into second gear. Get your speed back up again just here. Again, you'll be expected to get up to 50 and into 40 gears. The road is as clear as this. Now, we're going to be going left at the next junction, so we have to follow the road around to the left. At this sign here for the traffic lights, it's a good idea to be back in second gear. Slow off the clutch, and then we're turning left at these lights here. Once the lights go green here, make sure you check your left mirror again for any cyclists coming up. Okay, so we have green lights, so check your mirrors, quick glance right, nobody there. Then we're going to take the next right. Brings us up onto Woodside Drive. Keeping again just over towards the just left of centre. Putting on the handbrake again, there's a bit of a hill here. Just checking mirrors, looking into the road, make sure it's safe. Once the car passes, then we can go. Again, you could be asked to do the hill start here, although there's a lot of vehicles around at the moment. Staying out from the parked cars, just keeping an eye in case anyone comes down the hill, and then moving back onto your side as quickly as you can. Really careful now. The next corner just up at the Castle Golf Club, really sharp corner to the left, is not well signposted. There's three trees here on the left. At the second tree, be in second gear, no later than the second tree, and just follow the road around nice and slow. Hillside Drive, so this road is wide enough. You should be able to get your speed up to 15 into fourth gear here. They're looking for you to make progress, unless there's a lot of cars parked. We're then going to be taking the next left onto Landscape Road back towards the test centre. Mirrors and signal. Just watch for cars coming in and out of here. There's usually a lot of vehicles reversing in and out. There's cars coming out, so we'll let her go. Just stay back, there's no point in going up any further because then she won't have room to come out. And then we're going to turn left and back in towards the test centre, so be really careful coming in here. Just indicating left. Just make sure you look before you go in. Take it nice and slow, make sure there's nobody coming out. Just ask you to find a suitable place to park. So you can go into any of the spaces here, it doesn't matter. The one just ahead here is fine. And that's the end of Route 5.